Alright guys, welcome back. So today of course we're taking a look at the MiG-29 Fulcrum. This is the plane that I was the most excited for this patch. Just to give y'all a fair bit of warning, I am going to have a little bit of a rant later on in this video. There might actually be a considerable amount of ranting. But before I get onto that, I'm going to go over the actual plane itself and how it is right now in the game. Just a word of caution, the devs did go ahead and release a little note saying that the MiG-29 is performing worse than expected and that they're going to be making some changes. They said that as of right now, the R-27 ER is under consideration, which is supposed to be an extended range R-27. From what I understand, it had a lot of other improvements as well. I'm not an expert on that, so I'm not going to say anything on the matter. I've heard it's supposed to be better than the AIM-7M. They're saying it's going to be contemporary, so I'm not sure. Now, I do go ahead and get a couple kills right here. I'm going to go ahead and preface this by saying these are the only 2 kills that get this match. I figure this is still a good representation of how the plane itself actually performs, and to be honest, you're not getting that many kills at top tier right now anyways most of the time. I'm getting maybe some 4 or 5 kill matches, but regardless, it hasn't been that many. So I figure this still gives a good indication how the plane actually performs flight performance wise. You can see I'm just absolutely leaving this F4E in the dust. The 29 is quite a bit of thrust, and it's actually still missing some. It and the F-16 are both missing thrust right now, so you can expect the acceleration and the climb to get even better as time goes on. So I am going to go ahead and I'm dodging these missiles that are coming in. You do get large caliber countermeasures in the MiG-29, which is pretty nice. I go ahead and use the HMD right there to go ahead and get the R-27 off. Unfortunately, I believe it's usually coming and flares it, so I don't get the I don't get the satisfaction of an HMD kill while I'm in a dogfight. Now, I'm dropping right here. If you watch my speed carefully, you can see when I reach around 700, I start pulling 8Gs. When I reach around 800, I start pulling, well, 750 is 9Gs, and then 800 is 10Gs. Another HMD shot right there. No dice, unfortunately. But when it comes to the Gs this thing is pulling, the instructor... I think the instructor is bugged somehow. So I've been talking to some people, they've told me that the flight model itself is accurate. So for those of y'all who don't know, the flight model is the exact same in RB and simulator. The difference, however, comes in how the plane is actually controlled. So for the 5 sim players out there, of course, you're flying with your actual stick. There's nothing in between you and the plane. So for people, for the majority of people that are playing in RB, you're just pointing your mouse where you want it to go. And the instructor, if you can see right below the engine right there, it says instructor. The instructor is the one that is actually flying the plane for you. Now, you may have an accurate flight model, but if the instructor is not doing what you're telling it to do, you're not going to get the performance out of it that you should. Now, here's another quick clip I was going to show y'all. Just showing off the HMD. That's the big feature with the MiG-29. That, and it was supposed to be the R-27s as well, and I'm about to get to that right now, I was telling y'all. But the plane itself is not bad. It's still one of the top dogs in the game. I've heard a lot of people calling it trash, or that it's not good, or that the F-16 is so much better. I wouldn't say that. It's definitely got a place in the game. You still got good missiles and good flight performance. I usually get, if I fire off 2 R-27s, I'm usually getting 1 kill. Just depends on who sees it or not. R-60Ms, still good missiles, they're not anyone else. But you can see, they do work. They even ignore flares sometimes, which is pretty funny. Like, you just did it right there. The problem I'm having, right, is that once you run out of your R-27s and your R-60Ms, the flight performance is there. You got your 30 mil, which is excellent. But the R-27 was supposed to be the thing for the MiG-29. You see right there where it has ECCM. On the dev server, whenever they added R-73s to the MiG-23, sorry, the MiG-29, they were balanced at first. They were relatively easy to flare, but they were still good missiles at high flight performance. Then they go ahead and they remove the R-73 and they give it R-60Ms instead. And they're like, well, okay, well, it has R-27T, which is really hard to flare. It's a great, strong missile. Now, on the live server, it dies to single flares. It's honestly harder to flare R-60Ms. I don't agree with this change. I think it should have been made so flareable. I don't think it should have been made so it was less flare resistant than the R-24 that comes before it. honestly, I don't even think we need R27ER. I just think they need to fix the R27D. Even if it was AIM-9L flare resistance, like, that would be good enough. You can see the R60Ms, they put in some work. Like, they're not as great as, you know, as the AIM-9L is, of course, on the F-16, but they work. All you need is those intermediate. So, for example, the F-16s, right? They have the AIM-7F. The MiG-29 has nothing like that right now because the radar is bugged. R-27R is a good missile, but it doesn't have the range of the AIM-7F. And then the radar is not working right. It's missing some modes as well. It's missing the head-on mode for its ACM. So most of the time, you're not even really able to get a lock in the first place. They said they're going to work on the radar. I think it needs to have at least the R-27T fixed. That's all I'm asking for. If they do that, I think this is probably one of the best planes. Well, it is already one of the best planes in the game. I think it might be the best plane in the game. Even without our 73s, which some people are calling for. You can see it. I like it a lot. I like the flight performance. It's got a great gun. It pulls nice and hard. The HMD is excellent. R60Ms, you can see, they work just fine. It's all you need, really. You just need some form of change to the R27. That's all I'm asking for. Because right now, to be honest, the MiG-29 is like a tiger. It's kind of been declawed. That's the best way I can put it. Contrary to popular belief, it's not a bad plane. It's definitely fun, and I'd recommend getting it still. Just keep in mind that it has some limitations and that it probably needs some change. But I hope you have a wonderful day.